right. Looks like we have most of the people that are attending in. Thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Brian Friedman. I'm the GVP of Sales at SoftClouds, and this is our webinar about revolutionizing customer experience using AI. Let me take a minute to introduce the speakers on today's panel. Next slide, please. As I said, I'm Brian Friedman, GVP of Sales from SoftClouds. We also have Mark Grannon, who is part of the Oracle CX product management team. And we have Bhupendra Modi, who is part of our Oracle CX team based in India. Next slide. Because we do have Oracle on this meeting today, we do have to put up their safe harbor statement. It's a thrilling slide, probably the most interesting one that you'll see, but we're required to put that up. Next slide. So let me give you a quick introduction to AI and CX. Everyone's hearing about AI. It's all the talk. Everybody feels like they need to have some form of AI involved, and yet there's a lot of confusion around it. So AI is artificial intelligence, and what it really is it's technology that makes ways of making decisions easier, quicker, and in a lot of ways more intelligent. Customer experience, as we all know, is the portion of business where a company is interacting with their customers and how they work with customers, how the customers are getting information about the company and really dealing with the company itself. And so when we bring those two things together, AI and CX, what we're really looking for is a way to provide a better user experience using AI. And by doing that, what we're really trying to find is how can we use the tools of AI? How can we do things that are quicker? How can we improve the personalization of that relationship with the customer and the company? How can we use predictive analytics to have better results, or in fact, in some cases, be proactive in terms of the results and how things work? And then ultimately, how do we automate the processes and how do we make things more intuitive, better, easier to work with? So on the next slide, what you're going to see is some statistics that give you some of the benefits and importance of using AI with CX. And when we look at this, we can see that revenue increases when we use AI because we have better selling techniques. We have better ways to upsell and cross-sell or manage to renewals. We find that we can close deals more quickly because we have these analytics, because we have these insights. We understand who's a potential buyer, who might actually not be a buyer. How do we get to a point where we really focus in on the most likely purchasers and spend a little less time, or maybe a lot less time, focusing in on the less likely purchasers? CX is a huge differentiator in the minds of companies and the minds of individuals. When you think about your own experience, you'll think back fondly on companies that you had a good experience with, who were responsive to your needs, who maybe handled a problem very well for you. And you'll think back less fondly on the companies that really didn't do that, the ones that didn't give you the best experience or didn't give you the best result or make you feel like you were important to them. And so all of these things really focus in on the CX functionality and how the company itself drives their relationship with their customers. And using CX and using AI allows the company to respond more quickly to requests and needs of the customers. And finally, when we look at customer engagement, we can use AI to increase the customer engagement by having recommendations, having different things that are meaningful to them, presented to them. And we can all think of those instances too, where if you're looking at a particular item on a shopping site, for example, you might see related things that could be of interest to you, or even things that might appear to be unrelated, but have shown a pattern of other people making those purchases. So with that, let me move on to the next section and introduce Bhupendra, and he's going to start to talk a bit about the Oracle AI offerings. Bhupendra, it's all yours.
Yep. Okay. So hopefully everyone has submitted the poll, what Bala has put. So today we are going to talk two things. One is what are the different offerings what Oracle is providing to us? And second, we'll talk about what are the big challenges and what are the practical solutions for those challenges that we see once we are implementing the AI. So next slide, Bala. So Oracle gives a lot of options for the AI. Means Oracle is pretty much, investing a lot of amount in the AI, be it hardware, be it software, be it a capability at the infrastructure level or at the application level. So the integration is really the big plus point for the Oracle. They give a lot of embedded AI features embedded within the Fusion applications. So if you have the license for the Fusion CX, Oracle is giving more than 70 plus offerings for those different features in the different parts of the applications. And that too with no additional cost for the customers. So it is free of cost, no brainer. Every customer has to implement those embedded AIs, which are really useful or relevant for you. Okay. So that's really the best thing what Oracle is giving. Mark will give you a lot more details about those embedded AI features. So I'll go to the next one. The AI agents and the agent studio. In the today's world, everyone is talking about the agentic AI. And in the agentic AI, that's how the world is going. If you talk about the Salesforce, they are talking about the agent force. You talk any other big organization, they are talking about the agents. And everyone is feeling that this is the way the software, the way we will use the softwares, will use it via the agents. That's how the future is going to be. And Oracle has already launched 100 plus AI agents across all Fusion applications. And they are giving the agent studio as well, where we can create our custom agents. And again, the plus thing with Oracle is that AI agent studio is also free of cost for all the Fusion application customers. So again, one of the very prominent feature which every customer should plan to use it. Then Oracle has a lot of hardware, right? They provide you a lot of GPUs, etc. And at the infrastructure level, they give you a lot of, we say OCI AI services. They provide it. They provide the generative AI service. They provide the Gen AI agent, which is nothing but the rake capability with the Oracle AI. And when I say the rake, they give multiple options for the knowledge bases. You can store your data in the object storage. You can store in the OpenSearch. You can store in the Oracle 23 AI. They also give you digital assistant. They give you language, speech, vision, document processing. So a lot of Oracle OCI AI features Oracle is giving. So based on your need, Oracle has a lot of options. Bala, next slide. So AI agent, we already had a word where agentic AI is the future of the industry. That's how people will start using all the softwares. What Oracle is giving is the AI agent studio as well. And with that, we can create our own agents. And those, what is an agent? You consider that it has the autonomous capabilities. It can do repetitive task or the workflow can be executed without any human intervention. And you can also put one intervention where you want to review the final work. So both of the options are there, but it's the autonomous is the biggest thing. And you can put your workflow, you can bring data via multiple systems. So the integration can also be performed here. I see a big usage of this Oracle AI Agent Studio, and the Oracle AI Agent is the big part of the way you will use the software. So definitely that's a big thing. Bala, next slide. Another big thing what Oracle is talking, which I said that in the REG agent, we have also Oracle 23 AI. So Oracle 23 AI is the latest version of the database, but it's no more only a relational database. It has many more capabilities. And the one of the biggest capabilities is regarding storing the vector data. So they have a vector data type where you can store the vectors. And Oracle has given a lot of PL/SQL functions where you can find the vector similarity. You can get so people who know the AI, we have to get for the embedding and chat, we have to use the different models. And for embedding, you can get the different model altogether. You can put a custom model in the Oracle 23 AI and it can use it, or you can call any, OCI model, OCI Gen AI, you can directly call it. So a lot of options Oracle 23 AI has been given, and I believe all those advanced AI capabilities has to be used. The one another thing is because it's a DB, it's a highly secured, and a lot of your data will already be there in the Oracle DB. So you can get the relational DB functionality as well as you are getting the AI functionality. So that's really a, icing on the cake. Bala, next slide. Okay. Now, once we have talked what Oracle is offering, okay, there is a poll. Okay. So we understand we are hearing AI is everywhere, right? But when we are implementing AI for customers and we are talking with the customers about the AI, we hear a lot of problems or challenges for them. A lot of barriers we see for the AI adoption. The number one, what I feel that, and that's what most of the people have said, there is a lot of content, but they don't know what is their use case. How can they implement the AI, right? What is the clear use case for them? So one thing I will suggest, anything you are doing manual work, right? Which your sales rep, service rep, or any person is doing a manual work. You think, is there a way I can automate it via the AI? AI is very powerful nowadays. Anything you are doing manually, there is an option where you can expedite it with the help of the AI. It's more like a helper for the person who is doing the manual work. So that's the first thing you should see for your business use case. Second thing is you can get some AI experts who can tell you that, yeah, these are the additional things which are possible. You are not doing it, but these are the feasibilities. You can contact us. We have a lot of AI accelerator or whoever is your partner. End of the day, you need a very capable or expert partner who can guide you that, yeah, these are the extra use cases what you can do, and they can help you in drafting your clear use cases. So that will be the first thing. Second, we hear a lot of concern about the data privacy and the security concerns, and that's very much valid because uh, when we are using the Oracle Fusion applications, we are enterprise customers. Security is always on the top of our mind. So Oracle as a framework, because Oracle is expert in the enterprise applications, they have put all the security framework which are needed for the enterprise customers. And like I said, Oracle 23 AI, the DB level of security also you can get. OCI, which is an infrastructure, it is well secured platform. So they give a lot of security for data as well as your AI facility. So you can read a lot of material with Oracle, but Oracle really handles it pretty well. Bala, next slide. Okay. Implementation wise, the biggest problem what we are seeing for the people is the hallucination. They find that enterprise customers, being an enterprise customers, we can't uh, AI to hallucinate and give inaccurate or misleading response. And that's the biggest problem, not only here, it's overall in the AI industry or AI implementation. That is the biggest one. That was a very big problem maybe 1 year earlier, but now with the advancement of the technology, with the models and a lot of new practices, we are able to minimize it to a very good extent. And a lot of techniques are there. Market is full of techniques. First is the prompt engineering. You can put a very clear prompt. There are a lot of techniques like K-short prompting. You can do the step back. You can do the uh, chain of thoughts sort of processing. End of the day, you want the engine to think, and you are giving more examples in the prompt so that it can understand it pretty well. Okay, so and sometimes you have to do some hit and trial as well, and but a lot of techniques are present in the prompt engineering so that you can get a far better output. So prompt engineering is number one. Another thing is you have to choose the right model. There are a lot of model options are there. What suits you is a question based on what is the your need. Indeed, people are fan of LLMs, large language models, but if your use case is very specific to your industry and you have a smaller and specific model, I believe you should go with that particular model. And the larger the model is, the topmost model you will take, it might take maybe uh, billions of parameters, right? But then it will take a lot of more hardware cost. It will be slower in generating the response. So if your need is very specific, you can go with the smaller model as well. Indeed, OCI gives you a lot of model options, especially with Cohere and the Llama. And I hear that we'll get many more options in the coming future. So they give you, if your usage is low, you can go with the smaller prompt, then go with this model. This will be cheaper for you. Then if you want a bigger one, then these are the options. Oracle also gives you a lot of options. Another thing what you can do is the model fine tuning. When I say fine tuning, you might have your own specific data that you want to fine tune your large language model, right? You might have industry specific data or the customer specific documents and data. All of those things you can put the fine tuning with your LLM models. With OCI, fine tuning is very much easy, and it gives you a lot of technical options too. If you want to fine tune, and lot of different options are also there. But fine tuning is definitely you should try. Another one is the RAG. If you want a very specific data from your onset, if I want to know how my customers are, uh, I want to know some specific query, the data for my own customers, my own data, my own documents with the customers. Maybe I have a purchase agreement document. I want to see the pricing. All of those things where documents are very much specific to you. You want to retrieve that information along with the LLM. Then you should use the RAG approach. Oracle gives the Oracle OCI AI agent that gives you the real-time data with your own data, your own sources. It might be a PDF, it might be relational DB, but you can combine. And that's where I was telling that you have multiple options too. If it's only PDF, you can use the object storage. Otherwise, you can use the OpenSearch or Oracle 23 AI, which is very advanced version of DB now. So definitely you try to use RAG if that is your need. Fine tuning, definitely you should do. Prompt engineering, definitely you should do. Another thing is still you do not want to take a risk, right? Because you are enterprise customer, you should put a human in the loop concept. So after the response, a human can do a small verification. So that's also a good option. One more problem what I hear, people are worried about the high cost and uncertain ROI. Believe me, all the free options you should definitely use because you have already paid your money in the licensing. There is no brainer. Why shouldn't you use those options what Oracle is giving? Amazing. Uh, Another way, Microsoft did one study recently, and they said every $1 you spend on Gen AI, the return is 500%. 5x, you get 5 times the ROI. And you see any statistics, be it Gartner or any other place, they are saying ROI is very huge in case of Gen AI. So I believe you should do your research, but the cost is There are a lot of options where you can optimize the cost based on your need. And the ROI is very, very high. That's what each and every study is saying. Wherever we have done the implementations, customers also feel the same. So you should definitely do your analysis, but you should not miss the bus. Okay. Bala, next slide, please. Okay. So I know I'm taking little more time, but industry wise, we have a lot of real world use cases. I'll talk about the automotive. Indeed, we are doing one automotive customer. We are doing one case study where we are automating their receipts and the document verification. So it is saving a tremendous amount of time for them because everything was manual, and manual could do a lot of errors as well. Now it was able to do a lot of things so fast and so good. Customer is saving a lot of money and they are very happy that their productivity has increased. Same case is there with all other industries too. Uh, for another customer, what we are doing the sentiment analysis, and the best part of the sentiment analysis, we are using the OCI language there. What we are doing, the till now the biggest problem was either you say positive or negative in the sentiment for the service request, right? But here we are saying the aspect based of sentiments. We are saying, okay, he was very happy with the customer service, but the other aspect of the product quality, he is not happy. So you can get the aspect based of sentiments, and then you know that, okay, which things customers are happy and which aspects they are not happy with. So sentiment analysis is also very generic use case. Almost every customer uses it, and it's with aspect based thing, it's much more useful for customers. So there are tremendous options. There are tremendous wherever you will see, right? Each and every business, there are a lot of industry wide use cases are there. Another use case I already said, the customers have customer specific documents, customer specific pricing, some support pricing or premium pricing, etc. Those documents you can process it fast. Call center wise, there are a lot of options where while you are having a call, your call can be put into the text, it can be summarized, it can give you search your knowledge base and give some options to the your call center agent at the real time. So tremendous productivity options can be possible with the AI. Okay, the sky is the limit. That's how I'll say it. Bala, next slide. And I believe Mark from Oracle will guide us with a lot of things what Oracle is doing. Mark, over to you.
Thank you, Bhupendra. I appreciate that. One thing I forgot to mention at the beginning, we do have a Q&A tab at the top of your screen. If you have some questions, please feel free to put them in that tab, and we'll address them at the end of the webinar. Mark, over to you for Oracle's perspective.
Great. Thanks, Brian. And really nice job, Bhupendra. There were some really good nuggets in Bhupendra's deliveries. I don't know if you noticed, he said, A, it's just free. It's included, so why would you not turn it on? So absolutely agree with you. And two, this is such a big opportunity, you can't afford to miss it. Like, you don't miss the bus. So get started today. I think those are two phenomenal pieces of advice that I would echo. But just to kind of set the stage for where Oracle, and specifically where Fusion is coming from when it comes to AI for our applications, we're looking at this through the lens of delivering results. I mean, the technology truly is phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. We've seen some pretty stunning capabilities come out of this new generative and now agentic AI revolution, if you will, over the past 3 years. But when we step back from the technology, we want to focus on what it's going to deliver for you as a business. And we want to make sure it's relevant. So this first part being your data, really your data, it's secure, it's in the database, it's all those things that Bhupendra was talking about. That first party transactional data is the best source of relevance for your customers. I mean, maybe you're in a marketing role, and maybe you were trying to discern for the past 15 years intent out of behavioral analytics on the website. But really the best source is actually, okay, how many SRs have they submitted? How many orders have they are in flight? What's the pricing? Do they have a renewal coming up? All of those things are probably going to be more indicative of the intent to purchase or not versus their click pattern on a website. That being said, you can bring the two together and it's better still. So that first part is all of your front office data, from sales to service to marketing, and all of your back office data too, including financial, supply chain, and even HR data, is really what's going to drive the relevance for AI. And so that's where Fusion's really hanging our hat first. It's on your data. Second, it's just included. AI, if you were to engineer AI such that it could be pulled out of an application, you're actually hampering it. You're limiting the ability for the AI to deliver value because you've made it optional. We're just baking it in to the DNA of the applications, and we're able to do that because we're Oracle. We're the only apps provider that has our own infrastructure. So it never leaves our cloud. So it's fully delivered at no additional cost, and it never leaves our cloud. So it's increasingly secure. And then finally, as a result of all that, it's a complete offering. I know that many folks probably piece together their SaaS investments from across many, many different providers, and then augment that with cloud services from another set of providers. And that sort of patchwork effect doesn't really resonate or doesn't really result in the best impact for AI, and it exposes you to a lot of cost and risk. Instead, by leveraging our one complete offering, which again is vertically integrated, even the leading LLMs are choosing our cloud, right? So if that's not indicative of Oracle's strategy being kind of endorsed by the NVIDIAs and the ChatGPTs and all these other providers, like if that's not an endorsement, I don't know what is. So the biggest, most sophisticated companies on the planet are really buying into Oracle's vision, and we think you should too. So on the next slide, I want to talk really about this notion of value. And Bhupendra showed lots of great examples in different industries or different horizontals, and that makes a lot of sense. But we've tried to kind of distill it down even further, especially in the context of customer experience. We made it very memorable. 3 E's: efficiency, effectiveness, and experience. And that's really the 3 buckets of value. And you can see here I've given some example KPIs or metrics you'd measure these effectiveness, efficiency, and experience gains by. Things like the average time to repair something. So you can ship something in to have the repair depot take care of it and send it back to you. But if those are all different separate applications, they're all wired up differently, it may take a long time. Instead, with Oracle, for example, we have our Oracle service natively integrated to our repair depot, and we can create a lot of transparency and reduce a lot of friction between those front and back office. And that's just one small example. But maybe the bigger story here is if you build out this animation for us real quick on this slide, is the value of AI in CX. You actually need to debit out the cost and risk of AI. So if you can hit click one more build for me, there we go. So right there at the bottom, this is a big differentiator. Bhupendra said it earlier, it's just free, turn it on. By contrast, if you're not, and then you're going and sourcing it elsewhere, you really are reducing the impact, the ROI of the AI. So for every, what was it, 5 to 1, Bhupendra, you said? For every $1 you invest, you get $5 back. But if it costs you $2 for every, this is crazy, right? You could really reduce that value by pretty significant margin for every conversation that an LLM might have with your data. So we're looking at this through the lens of the net benefit the entire application is delivering to our customers and ultimately to their customers. So CX has a big footprint. It can mean you could be coming from a go-to-market team that does marketing campaigns. You could be doing renewal sales for your install base. You could be doing service and even field service, right? So there's a lot of angles here, but working with the SoftClouds team ahead of this webinar, we decided to focus on, mainly for today, that go-to-market piece of the equation, including marketing and most specifically sales. So on the next slide, I think the opportunity here is best illustrated through how your job and your teams might actually change. Because sometimes these metrics, customer CSAT scores, is just a number. It doesn't really embody how your job will change. But through the power of AI, and that's continuum of predictive, generative, and agentic AI, marketing organizations will really start to unify with their go-to-market channels. Sales being the one which they've had historical kind of challenges with, if you will. And their lack of collaboration in the past probably slowed them down. Marketing would generate leads, they'd throw them over the wall. Sales say, that's not a qualified lead, I'm not touching that. And we wouldn't get the actual benefit of these systems, but instead, by unifying those two, again, through a common data foundation, through the power of AI to connect those data silos, we're going to plug all those leaks in the funnel. We're going to standardize the metrics across marketing and sales so they're actually rowing in the same direction, in the same boat. And we're going to accelerate their ability to launch new service bundles, new product offerings, new renewal campaigns, what have you, into their install base and into their prospects. And as a result, marketing is going to get a lot of time back. So if you've been a campaign machine, just cranking out campaigns for month after month and year after year after year doing the same thing, you're finally going to take a break, step back, and leverage these new tools to design the tactics that then will be used by agentic AI, right? And we're going to then go-to-market teams, regardless of maybe it's a new business unit you're going to support now out of corporate marketing. They'll be able to turn those on without any additional effort on your part. You're going to be able to stand back and look at the data and say, what makes sense? Who are we, which segment are we serving, and how and why? So you're really going to be doing that data science engineering, and you get to focus on preserving your brand and making it different than the competitors. So that's how the marketer's job is really going to change. And then let's one more slide to focus on how the sales profession is going to change to complement this. So this pivot that I've kind of been hinting at is to make things a recurring model. A flywheel effect is a good metaphor. And so if your business sells one product one time, you don't get the benefit of that customer coming back unless they happen to need, a replacement later on or service of add-on parts. But that's why many businesses over the past 10, 15, 20 years have been slowly and now increasingly accelerating towards recurring business models, recurring value. And this will accelerate and strengthen their business over the long term. But in order to do that, they have to have better transparency into their back office financial systems. They have to have pricing and supply chain and all of those other things wired up to make sure that they can move the business more effectively to that new model. And that effective agility is what we're aiming for in this connected world where agentic AI and generative AI can actually facilitate some of that automation for us and connect those front, middle, and back office processes. And at the end of the day, that's going to improve your company's margin, and the customer's going to be happier because they're effectively paying for results. They're not spending a bunch of CapEx on things that they don't really want to own on their balance sheets. And so these sales teams, these now maybe they're revenue ops teams, maybe that's the label they've been using for a little while, they're going to design the orchestration flows that stretch across front and back office. They're going to understand the accounts at every level of that account hierarchy. And they're not going to curate new offers ahead of the customer expectations. So we could get into service, and I was really tempted to do that today, but I think just for sake of focusing this webinar on what you want to hear, we really focus it on this front office, front end of marketing and sales. And now let's talk about some features that are in the Fusion sales product today. So many of you, I think, are Oracle sales customers. I hope you've turned on, or at least investigating, pivoting to Redwood. Redwood's really going to be the unlock feature for all these features. So working with Oracle, working with SoftClouds to embrace Redwood, and at the same time embracing AI and all predictive analytics and all the other greatness that comes with our Fusion sales offering that is Redwood native. I'm just going to talk you through a few of these on this slide. We won't have time to go through all of them individually, but I can kind of broad brush. On the left-hand side, left-hand column is our predictive analytics. So a lot of the great pieces of Oracle is that we've been a database, and we've been a data company for 45 years. And we have ML baked into the core of our database such that this data quite literally never moves. We never have to move it to AI and ML compute to be able to make use of it. For predictive modeling, we ship roughly 15 models out of the box that work, that even have a nice onboarding flow to help you determine the depth and quality of your data if it's sufficient to actually turn these features on. So you could be doing contact recommendations so you understand who to work with within a buying group, or you could do looking at win scoring or win probability scoring and things like that, all on the backs of your data that's already there. And so that's something you should definitely be doing. Now, the bottom feature in that column is actually super cool. It just came out last quarter. Build your own, or sorry, not that one. There's one next to it. Generate explanations of AI ML through generative. Now, this is very, very cool because some of the sales teams that I've spoken with in the past, they decided, while we love the idea of predictive, our sellers won't trust the insights unless they know how it was calculated. Well, here's the beauty. Now we're going to use the power of generative or large language models to create the explanations of the outputs of those recommendations. And that will help the uptake of your sellers and sales managers to leverage the power of your own data to drive that insights and those transformations. So that's the predictive side. Mostly on the middle column here is the generative features. These are really the productivity gains that a lot of your sellers will want. They've been probably pivoting over to a chat GPT or something that they either pay for, or God forbid it's a freemium model. And they've been plugging in data over there and drafting emails or summarizing notes or creating account descriptions using those tools. Well, now you can do it natively within Fusion Sales, again, at no additional cost. And that preserves your sellers' focus. They're not swivel sharing between applications, and is preserving the quality and integrity of your organizational data. Not only that, the sellers themselves are getting better results. They're not getting generic internet scale insights into their account. They're actually asking the system to provide an account summary based on all of the transactional history, the engagement history, etc. And then on the right-hand side, these are going to be maybe a few cases a little narrower because not everyone is using incentive compensation all day long, for example. But for those administrators who are creating incentive comp plans for those large, complex organizations, or for the managers who need to engage with those incentive plans, these writing tools, these explanations will be very, very helpful to help really get the most value out of the powerful tool like our incentive comp solution. And there's also pricing and discount optimization for our CPQ, which funnels directly into sales, funnels directly into things like commerce. And there's even, once you're successful, you can help with that win story directly with the generative AI. So that's all in product as of early this year. And now on the next slide, we'll see the things that just are shipping here this month and are coming later this year. So some really cool stuff shipping as of this current release. Quote summarization. We're going to take the beauty of all of that's in CPQ and make it distillable, usable, easily understood by your sellers, your buyers, and even other stakeholders like distribution partners. You can extract key terms out of your contracts. You can do more with incentive comp around generating incentive performance measures and plan components. You can summarize whole email threads directly within Outlook through our extension, our plugin for Outlook. So generative AI is going to summarize whole email threads right there in your inbox. You're going to be able to upload documents. So Bhupendra mentioned RAG, retrieval augmented generation. We're going to natively support uploading documents like a product spec sheet, so your sellers can actually have conversations to ask what's included in this SKU, and it can spit out very concise, easy to consume answers. And then lastly, descriptive analytics on the sales dashboard. So not only are they just looking at the data and trying to parse through it, they can actually have natural language understanding through the power of generative AI. So that's just what came in the last release. So a lot here just in one pillar of the CX portfolio. There's so much more in service and in marketing too. And look at all the rich stuff coming further out. Much more around agentic, much more around the rounding out all the corners of CX, getting into forecasts and product recommendations, more things around products. So it's really, really going to be pervasive across the entire footprint. However, I didn't want to end on the note of just product. Turn on our product. That's not really what I want to do. I wanted to end with an example of value. So Bhupender said it earlier, don't miss this bus. So on the next slide, I wanted to showcase the types of value that's on this bus that we want you to get on. So in the context of sales, if you had 100 reps today with a 25% conversion rate, average deal value roughly around 100K, 1,000 deals a year, and you're losing maybe 200 annually. AI could potentially, this is based on our estimations through our business value services team, it could save you up to 10 hours a week for your reps. It could boost your win rate by 1%, and it could boost your recovery rate by 2%. So you net that out, that's $3.9 million. Pretty amazing amount of money. Now, we have to back that off a little bit because 20% profit margins mean it's only $780,000 in additional cash flow. But remember that calculation at the bottom we talked about earlier, 780 minus 0, because again, this doesn't cost extra, your net benefit is 780. So even if you were doing this on another solution today, the impact's actually greater with Oracle because it's all included. So thank you for the time. Thank you for SoftClouds for having me on. This is a great opportunity. If you have any other questions or want to follow up on any other thing around other aspects of CX we didn't touch on, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'm going to hand the mic over to talk about AI and CX in the future.
Thank you, Mark. Really appreciate it, and really appreciate Oracle's insights into how AI is working and really the different features that are being implemented within the Oracle CX stack to bring AI directly to the users. So in the next slide, what we talk about a little bit is AI and CX and what some of the future trends are. And we talked a lot about this. Bhupender was talking about it. Mark was also talking about it. But the longer you use AI, the longer you use some of these agents, the smarter they become. And so as you start to do more things, as you start to train your AI, as you start to really hone in on the things that you want to use AI for, it becomes smarter, it becomes more intuitive, it gives you better results, better recommendations, better ways to either improve your sales team or to improve your customer experience with your customers. And really what you're seeing with that is the next point, the exponential growth. The more you do, the more AI does, the more it grows, the smarter it gets, the better it becomes. A lot of that is all based on processing power, of course, and that requires faster AI chips, which are coming out all the time. We're seeing more and more about this, about the increase in computing power and just the different ways in which AI can be more useful on a day-to-day basis across many different things. And Mark just highlighted that really. It's not just, sales in terms of doing a lead to an opportunity to a sale of a customer, but things like CPQ, making CPQ smarter, making incentive compensation smarter, making the service side smarter. All of these different areas with the built-in functionality that Oracle is providing can really become available to the company. And then when we have DeepSeek, really what we're talking about is how do we reshape AI? How do we start to make it better, more personalized, more relevant to the way the company operates and the way that the company itself wants to do business, wants to improve their business processes. And on the next slide, which is the last one, we really, to bring all this together, what are the key takeaways? Well, AI adoption in Oracle Cloud is more than just a technology shift. It's a strategy, it's education, it's execution. You can't just jump into AI. You can't just say, well, let's do this. You really have to be in a preparation mode. And then ultimately, what we need to do is we need to be able to really go in and make sure that we have the appropriate strategy and the appropriate background to do that. Business has to address the integration challenges. So you have to improve your data quality. You have to make sure that the information, the data that's going into and through AI will foster better innovations, better outputs, and ultimately better results for the customers, for the company. If you unlock AI's full potential, it really does give you that enhanced customer experience and business growth. And Mark was really starting to show how there's so many different areas that AI is currently available and becoming available within the different Oracle applications. So all of this leads to a myriad of different ways that the company can go and implement AI in many different facets, but it does really require the planning and the organization and the ability to be able to do that. And one of the things that we do at SoftClouds is we do guide companies through this transformation. And we want to make sure that the company derives real value from the movement into AI. So we'll go on to the next, which is really our question and answer session. And one of the things that I saw in the questions was a concern about implementing AI because of a lack of internal expertise. And so Bhupendra and Mark, I'll kind of direct this one to both of you. Mark more from the Oracle side, of course, Bhupendra from our side. But what are some ways that we can help companies who don't have that internal expertise leverage into AI and start to take advantage of these different functionalities?
So I'll start, but Bhupendra, feel free to chime in here. So I don't know about you, but predictive AI, so which is kind of the precursor to everything before generative, there was this big data science sort of burden, if you will. You had to have the skills and you had to have the right tools to be able to really leverage your data in a meaningful way to take action. And only probably pretty sophisticated companies could really do that well with the help of partners like SoftClouds. But when generative rolled around, now with these large language models powering these insights, functional productivity on things like writing an email or on drafting a response to a customer, that was all of a sudden, that magical feeling sort of was given to everyone. So I think now that we've, your Fusion products enable that same kind of magic in terms of auto summarization, auto authoring, recommending, like all of that stuff is just there with no additional effort. You simply just turn it on. I would say that is probably the biggest game changer for companies who didn't feel that they were mature enough to leverage AI, is these generative features you can just turn on. Then beyond that, I think once you start to get comfortable with that paradigm, you can weave in more of the predictive and more of the agentic. We really didn't talk a lot about agents and agentic AI, but if predictive is about data and generative is about language, well, agent is about process. So you're able to take action. You're going to actually change the way you do automation through the power of agentic AI. And that's, again, where partners like SoftClouds are going to be there. Partners like Oracle are here ready to help. And we're even going to be shipping templates for the Agent Studio that will make it really, really easy to use later this year when that's available. So I hope that there's actually a meaningful on-ramp for all of those customers who didn't feel like they were mature enough or had the data science chops to take advantage before, but hopefully that's changed now.
Great, thank you, Mark. Bhupendra, from our side, from the implementation side, what do you see as how do we guide our customers into the AI experience?
Yes, so thanks, Mark. You explained it very well. So first thing, embedded features, what Mark said, what Oracle has given, no brainer. Those you have to implement and see what is more relevant for you. Whatever is relevant, you should definitely implement. Second thing, you should also think that what are the things which are the manual part in your full business process? What are the problems? Now with AI, advent of AI, we can solve a lot of business problems what you are facing in the reality. So wherever the value chain you can see that, okay, this is the place where my business chain is slowing down. It may be anything. You are just your salesperson is writing one email and email writing is taking time. GenAI can help you to do a draft and then he can modify, right? Or he has to review some document to get some information, or he has to go to the world and see, gather the information. Lot of things you can do now. Whatever is manual effort, you can do automation via the AI. In the soft clouds, we are helping a lot of customers. We have a lot of AI accelerators what we have built for customers. So you can always reach out to us. We can help you to define your strategy, as well as we can show you some of the accelerators, etc. So so we can help you. You might find some expert who can help you as well. But essentially, this is the era of AI. If anything you are doing manually, anything you feel uh, this is reducing your productivity, I believe with the advent of AI, a lot of those things can be solved. Okay, so it just needs a different way of thinking. So
Thank you, Bhupendra.
I'll
Appreciate
definitely
that.
say, yeah, go for that.
So there's one question that was specifically to address to Mark. The question was whether there are AI agents available for Eloqua, the Oracle marketing platform.
So Eloqua is an amazing product and has been an important part of our portfolio going forward, and will be continuing in the future. But we shipped, I think, 5 different generative AI features for Eloqua in the past 3 or 4 quarters, past releases. So there's capabilities to create subject lines, email body copy, landing pages, SMS, and most recently, create content in the context of the shared components, right? So they can reuse in web and mobile. So there is generative AI in Eloqua for sure, and that's complemented by some of the predictive AI around send time optimization, fatigue analysis, things like that. So there's definitely AI in Eloqua. Going forward, though, you may have heard about our release of the AI Agent Studio that was on a couple of Bhupendra slides, right? So on March 20th, we unveiled that. That will be made available to Fusion customers later this year. That will require Fusion. So candidly, that will not be directly associated with Eloqua, but let's just say you had Fusion Sales and Eloqua. You can use the API services, or it's basically a credential store. You can secure APIs to call from that Agent Studio out to third-party systems, and then Fusion Sales can natively interact. The Agent Studio can natively interact with Eloqua or a third party, right? So you won't have to have, you won't be locked out of Agent Studio if you're an Eloqua customer, because chances are very, very good you're using some of their part of Fusion, and that will give you entitlements to leverage the Agent Studio in that context. So that's a short answer. The longer term is we're going to keep investing in Fusion, and the Fusion story will be very, very powerful. So definitely think about augmenting your Eloqua capabilities with things like our CDP. So Unity CDP, you won't just doing like the flat file segmentation with just a static amount of marketing data. It's going to be echoing all of your enterprise data in real time for dynamic segmentation and activation. So that's really the longer term play, is to lean into things like Unity and then ultimately Fusion. So hopefully that answers the question.
Great. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that very much. Move on to the next slide. Just a quick overview about who we are at SoftClouds. We are joyously celebrating our 20th anniversary this year. We were founded in 2005. We're based in San Diego. We have 3 other locations, 2 in India and a sales office in Tokyo, Japan, that focuses primarily on our work within the automotive industry. And we target actually the majors and enterprise areas. And I'll skip the next slide, but going to the very last one, if you do have any questions, feel free to contact me. My contact information is here on the slide. We'd be happy to help you in any way in your journey to implementing AI. And we appreciate you taking the time to join us today. And I hope you found this to be helpful and informative. Thank you all very much and have a good remainder of your day.